Hey guys, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. Hey, I'm Butch Lehman, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. So Fise is a major competition series, and this year, due to the health conditions, they've decided to put their competition online with online submissions. Now, the way this works is kind of similar to the WRS online competition series of old. Essentially, pros were invited to submit a 1-minute edit, and it's up to viewers to vote on the contestants that advance to the next round. So ultimately, they'll be taking the top edits, the top riders from 4 different divisions, pro men's, amateur men's, pro women, and amateur women. And then those finalists will have to produce a new edit and then be judged in a bracket style competition format. Now, I know this is a little bit small, but on the screen in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the criteria. And essentially, each pro had to produce a 60-second edit, and they're judged on consistency, trick variety, difficulty, style, smoothness, landings, and even the quality of the video that's produced. Now, you guys are welcome to vote however you like. Voting's open for another 2 days. It closes on August 5th. But I thought I would share with you guys my favorite edits. And I went through and I watched all 45 plus edits in the men's pro division, and I've narrowed it down to my top 12. So today I'm going to share with you guys some commentary on my favorite ones, but I do want to say that all the contestants were pretty amazing and they all had some really great tricks. So if you didn't make the list or a friend didn't make the list, this is just my personal preference on the top 12. So if you guys will join me, let's get into it. All right, now I should state that these are in no particular order for the top 12. This first skater is somebody that I have never heard of. According to my list, his name is Ropeo Diego. And this is such a cool setup, this like indoor house skate park going on. And the tricks he's able to do here, despite how low the ceiling is pretty amazing. Like, check this out. He's got like flat spins and backflips, almost hitting the ceiling. I gotta give this points for originality. This is a really cool edit. Definitely blowing out the audio on some of the filming. But this is wild. Check this out. Goes launch out, 3 topsoul, and transfers over. And really it's this whole setup and the lighting of it that really made this edit for me. And like, it's like a 2-foot quarter pipe. So yeah, that one I definitely felt deserved a mention. We're going to go into the next video because we've got 11 more really cool edits to check out. All right, next up we've got Takeshi Asato. And this is a really cool concept because he did this all in like one fluid line and just had 4 different cameras filming stationed around different parts of the skate park. So although the tricks might not always be like the top level that Takeshi is capable of, he put them all together in a run, and so the consistency piece and the filming piece I feel like are really unique to this video. A couple of cameras are stationary, a couple of them are moving, so you get a good variety in angles. And we still get some of that high amplitude tricks out of Takeshi that we're used to seeing ever since his early days in the X Games. I like too how he keeps like the running timer at the bottom and the mention of which camera it is. Love the Phillips. Phillips is one of my favorite tricks. And with that, the time is expired. He's put in his minute, consistent run. Really cool concept for an edit. Next up, we've got Anthony Poitier. I think that's how his name's pronounced. He's got some really smooth style in this video. And that's one of the things that I really respected him for, and that's one of the reasons why I chose this edit. Launching out, abstract style, into the tiny transition. Going through the curve there, like, perfect style. His ender trick in this one is one of my favorites too. You guys will see what I'm talking about. It's just really creative and interesting. Set slide in. This is cool. He spun a little too far there and he knows it. So close. Not close. We'll go soul up. Cool spin around. And top soul down. I really like that trick. I think that was really stylish. It was creative. It was unique. And again, those are the reasons why I chose this edit as one of the top 12 that I wanted to feature. All right, next up is Damon Franklin. And now this one, I'm not a fan of action cameras like the 360 cams. They make me a little bit nauseous, so I'm not super thrilled with the filming and the editing of this. But his tricks are bonkers, especially his ender in this video. He's just gonna sesh this mini ramp, destroy it. And in-spin topsoul rewind 3 was sick. Stomping the Disaster 3 soul. And check out this weird flip. Like, what even is that? So dangerous. Good use of slow motion, too. And this is really cool. But this trick is the whole reason why I picked this. I think this is like the biggest hammer out of any of the edits I saw. Going through the tree. A couple different angles of it. Huge air. Kind of reminiscent of that Alex Broskow clip where he does the 540 through the tree. So I felt like that was a cool throwback to one of the classic clips, at least in my memory. All right, next up we have Adam Davidson. And I chose him because this is shot pretty well. And it matches the music well. And he's got a good versatility of tricks here. Starts out with some down rail grinds, pretty technical. Then we'll throw in some big spins. Box jump. Use this obstacle really well, this channel gap. Big flat spin over it. Switching budget into the negative. That was really cool. Very high technicality grind. Throwing a bowl clip, which I guess is technically like a quarter pipe clip, but it's a pretty high level trick to do on pool coping. Hitting that channel gap again a couple different ways. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty solid edit as well. Again, started off with the rail, switched over to some park stuff, box jump skating, went back to the rails. Good versatility, I like that one. Next up is one of my favorite skaters of all time, Julian Cadeau. Admittedly, this section doesn't have any music. The editing is pretty basic. Just a few lines, but in characteristic Julian style, he does really big lines. Like, that was a really technical grind. Based on some of the tricks that he does, I felt like he deserved a spot on this list. Just being honest, I don't feel like this is his highest caliber of stunt skating, and I'm sure he would agree with that. We're used to seeing him do really big things, but it's kind of nice seeing him skate in a technical way, which isn't always something we see from him when he's on tour skating the Fise competition. You know, that favors like big air tricks and transfers and transitions more so. But even despite all that, we get this forward gainer backflip over the world's smallest ramp. And I appreciate that. Well played, sir. Again, Julian is a master of every aspect of skating, and I had to throw him in here because there's some tricks that he does that I don't think anybody else on this list could do. Next up, we have Roman Aubert, and honestly, I think this is probably my vote. I think his tricks here are probably the biggest. It's more of what I think of when I think of the Fise series, is these big transfers, lofty airs, really hard switch-ups, and launch to grinds, and that's right in Roman's wheelhouse, so I think he's got my vote on this one after watching all the entries. Not to take away or discredit what anybody else did, but this line, for example, up on the sub box, going 540 true spin Mizu, little hand plant over, zero fish, coming back the other way. That sort of consistency is unreal. Couple different flips here to end things out. Oh, actually, there's a little bit more, I guess. Royale, 450 Royale, alley-oop topsoul with the sidewalk chalk telling you to vote now. That's a good way to end it. And it was edited well. He's at his Gap City, his home skate park. Definitely knows how to shred that place. All right, now we have another familiar name. This is CJ Wellsmore, and he's no stranger to the Fise competition series. And the way he shreds this bowl with the speed and just the intensity, I think, is unmatched in this competition series so far. Going through the curve of the spine, pumping the bowl, cool aerial shots with the drone. Again, cinematography and overall impressions of the edit is one of the criteria that's being judged here. And And so this beautiful tracking shot. Good use of slow-mo on the flat spin 360. So much speed carving into that sole. Love the lens flares here too. It's just really well filmed, really well skated. It's really hard to find or nitpick any sort of negative with this edit. Definitely some amazing stuff out of CJ. I'd expect nothing less from him. All right, here's another skater that I know absolutely nothing about besides that he shreds. His name is Pavel Trifan, and there are some really technical tricks that happen in this video. Some lens flares there. Look at this. Into that Machio stall. I feel like that's just asking to lose a shin. Skating without a shirt on is always dangerous business, so you gotta know what you're doing. And I love how quickly he's able to jump into that kind grind right after the flip. Drop down fishy. I love it. Getting in a disaster here. Back torques. I really like the music choice here too. It's really jazzy and upbeat. And this trick, man, this is wild. Alley-oop fish to full alley-oop fish. That's what I call an ender. That's not a trick that I've seen very often. In fact, I think the only time I've seen an alley-oop fish to full alley-oop fish was maybe in the Razors P-Rail edit competition back in like 2012. There was a dude that was, I don't even know who it was, but he was nutty on his P-Rail. All right, next we have another skater that I've never heard of before, but I'm glad I encountered him. His name is Lauric Picard, and I like the way he shreds this park. Definitely the type of skating that I enjoy personally, and maybe that's what gravitates me towards him. He's got the big spins, throwing the 9 there. Look how lofty this 360 is. Stale grab. That one in particular had me sold. The landing was so nice too. And some of the other skaters have those big air tricks as well, but I like to see the grinds as well. I want that balance, that versatility that was asked for in the criteria. And so he's throwing some pretty technical grinds in here as well. Did some on the quarter pipe. He's getting some on the box. This true acid to front farve. And sole, 360 sole. I mean, those are tough tricks. Overall, I think it was a solid, versatile edit. I don't know if it would make it to the top of my list necessarily, but it was one that I wanted to highlight because there was some pretty high level and really smooth skating in there. It's time for another one of my favorite pro skaters, Nils Jansen's, and we already knew his part was going to be fire, and it's a really strong part. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the 360 action cams, but the way it's edited together here, I feel like flows pretty well. It takes out a little bit of the, I don't know, motion sickness. Big transfer here. Big disaster. And I like the lines and the consistency that he's able to put together with some of these tricks. It's good versatility in terms of grinds and airs. Taking the flat spin up. And then back in. This disaster hurricane topsail, though, is so good. So good. And let's get it one more time. Oh, to the 540 true topsail. Huge. And that's what I think of with Nils, is you're going to get really consistent skating. You're going to get really stylish skating. But he's going to throw in technicality, and he's going to throw in hammers. And that's the type of versatility that I think the judges and us as viewers are ultimately looking for. So excellent work with that, Nils. All right, the last edit in my top 12 comes from another skater that is relatively new to me. This is Ariel Lam. I think that's how his name's pronounced. And I had to mute the song before copyright reasons, but the skating, I think, speaks for itself. He's got good versatility of doing some big disaster grinds, a lot of big air tricks, and, you know, this Misty Flip says it all, transferring over sideways. Going hurricane topsail on the step up. Very difficult trick, but makes it look easy on that one. And the filming, too, the quality of the filming in this is really great. He's got the whole skate park to himself, clearly using a glide cam, getting those nice, smooth tracking follow shots. Well, 540 back in here. This is the 3 disaster porn. And when he's done with the edit, he just leaves the skate park, takes the skates off, throw them back in the bag, and get ready for another session, another day. So I think it brings closure to the edit as well, which is something that I think is commendable. All right, everybody. Well, those are my top 12 edits from the first round of the Fise online competition series. I thought it'd be fun to kind of watch some of these together and review some commentary with you. Again, these are just my opinions and recommendations. Ultimately, though, you guys need to get out there and vote. I'll leave a link in the description down below, but it's a really cool competition idea, and to have something available like this to blading, I think is important. And so the more people respond and interact and engage with that, the more likely Fise is to promote rollerblading in the future. So everybody get on the link, go vote for your favorite edit, watch the ones that I didn't showcase here, and ultimately later this week, they're gonna reveal the top 8 in the pro men's division that'll move forward into the next round. Then it's my understanding they'll have to put together a whole new 1-minute edit to put into a bracket. It's gonna be really cool, it's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing who our finalists are. Ultimately, those 12 are my top 12. I have a ton of respect for everybody that's participated in this competition. I wish you all the best of luck. And to everybody else out there that's watching this, stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some rollerblading. I'm Butch Lehman of Roll, Minnesota, and we'll see you guys with the next video. Till then, peace, everybody.